freezing heads, then there's not much point thawing them out again until you can build a new body for that person. And assuming all the technology exists to do that, it would solve all these other problems.
Building the spare body is, ironically though, it seems to be like a bit of a conceptual jump from a lot of people, isn't actually the difficult part compared to, we have spare part cloning already, and we recently have claims of humans having been cloned already, and the clones being in their infancy. This is yet to be verified to the best of my knowledge, but I recall that was in one news feed within the past couple of months, but that's yet to be verified to my knowledge. So yeah, I don't think that is actually the difficult part. I think one of the main reasons that people want their own body rather than a clone body is either, one, it's sort of a conservative feeling as suggested, I want my body, I don't want another one. Or in some cases it's people taking on board certain studies show memory is not entirely located in the brain, and is actually spread throughout the central nervous system and possibly other parts of the body as well. And if that is correct, then it's understandable there's a reason to actually want your original body and not a copy. On the last point here, before hopping over, what about getting to an overseas facility from the UK? Because we don't have a facility in the UK. Well, we do, technically, but it's non-functional and we can't use it. So for the moment we're stuck with America and Russia as the...
where is the facility? Storage?
It's the storage one that is not far from Brighton. Alan was setting it up, but a business deal fell through. They've got the facility there, they've got half the equipment there. They could get the second half of the equipment, but there are reasons that I personally do not understand why this is not possible at present. If you'd like, I can find out for you and let you know if you get your contact details.
Storage.
That's right. But I myself am not sure of the exact reasons why not, so anyway, that is something I have in my to-do list to find out about. But for the moment, we're stuck with America and Russia as the obvious main providers. It has not been as much of a hassle as you might expect to get patients out from the UK overseas. In the case of, there have been at least 2 patients that I'm aware of that have been moved out of the UK, maybe more than I'm not aware of. And simply with paperwork done up front and a good funeral director, it's not very difficult. It's quite simply a matter of the hospital releases the body to the next of kin or to the standby team in the case of Cryonics UK. We take away the body, we perfuse the patient's body there and then after administering the various medicines, performing the cool down as we go. The funeral director arranges the transports and handles the legal side of things. I'm sorry?
What temperature do you cool for?
In the UK, not down to vitrification temperatures, that's for sure, down to dry ice temperatures at present, though there is quite no small amount of discussion going on at the moment with regards to whether we should be cooling down further before shipping out, so that may be changing in the near future. Essentially, the main problems that are occurring with regards to patients getting to cryonics facilities from the UK is the issue of autopsy more than the issue of actually border problems. Because sometimes there'll be an autopsy that's necessary, or at least deemed necessary. Not only is it invasive, but it's also time consuming, and it is not always the case that the coroner quite understands the sense of urgency and doesn't necessarily understand why it can't wait until after the weekend, etc.
Just on that.
Further information there, Cryonics UK website. is mainly regards to the UK volunteer standby team. Ask me any questions you like about that in a moment. Cryonics.org is the Cryonics Institute website. You'll find all the information you might ever want to know about CI there. And alcor.org, predictably, is the same for Alcor. Down underneath there is my own email address and phone number if anybody wants to take them down for any kind of contact afterwards. That's absolutely fine. On that note, over to everybody.
Okay, question then. Firstly, you described the financial stuff earlier, and I've heard that described before, but what I haven't heard described is the absolute total package cost. Do we have any?
That's because there isn't one. Although there is if you are within America and you can go with a company called Suspended Animation, who, contrary to the name, don't really actually do anything along those lines. They're primarily the kind of support leg.
Yeah.
Cryonics to arrange that for you.
The sum total of the insurance, whatever, setting it up, and any support, the standby team costs, transport costs.
I'll tell you what, shall I run through my costs?
Yeah,
that I take personally. Okay, £6 a month life insurance.
How long does that last? Your life?
That.
No, as long as you're paying for it.
In fairness, it's a valid question. It depends on the policy because you can get term assured policies or whole life policies. Mine, since you asked, is actually a 40-year policy. I'm 24 years of age, so that'll take me to 64. I gather that I will reinsure periodically as I go along to make the most of that period and aim to pay outright before I reach pensionable age, which I don't think is too outrageous. £6 a month life insurance, $120 US a year membership dues to CI, and then $35,000 US payable for the cryopreservation itself. That's paid for by the life insurance. Now the other costs are for Cryonics UK itself. Cost to a member of Cryonics UK currently runs to £15 a month for a single person or £20 a month for a couple. Don't know whether
you have to take part in something.
there are no other continuous costs now. At the moment, it stands that it is, in order to receive the standby assistance, it's necessary to yourself attend the training sessions, which are quarterly, and be prepared to provide that service for others. Now that we're bringing paramedics on board, which some feel is a little bit of a necessary evil because they're paramedics and they're not used to or necessarily invested personally into cryonics, therefore it's probably better to have cryonics, but also they're sort of professionals who are going through medical procedures every day, and also they're on call and getting paid for it, so they're reliable to that degree.
That would be more expensive.
What is currently under discussion is the prospect of changing the system so there's the possibility that you can attend the trainings and get the standby, or not attend the trainings, pay slightly more and get the standby. Does that answer your question?
Right. Did that covers the actual being picked up, looked after, transported, or how much?
That covers the suspension costs here and abroad, if we're including the Cryonics UK fees there. What it does not cover is transport, which essentially comes down to the undertaker, and that is arranged privately and costs are what they are. I personally have made provisions privately with the funeral directors to pay for that as part of the life insurance payout. Now, that said, my current arrangement is with Alban & Sons here in London. I'm just about to change it over to Rollins, so I don't know what their policies are because I haven't done it myself with that. And then that, I think, runs to the all costs.
Is there a risk that the insurance company will delay paying out?
Yes, absolutely.
Because you need to be...
There is, absolutely. However, it's not a problem. The reason it's not a problem is